Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to sort out an element of the race that we might look back on later as having been a clue to finding the winner. Well, Saturday racing this week in Hong Kong, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 3, and the winning factor here, the stable change. Now, this is not the easiest class 4 to sort out. We'll get to the pace of the race later on, but even before we look at that, there are quite a few horses with claims on the race, including Rhapsody, a nice winner last start. Vector, a newcomer from the Tony Cruz yard, has some ability. Super Red Dragon, another last start winner. Inno Legend, he's been knocking on the door. And Cheap Our Boss from the David Hall yard was good when he returned over 1,000 metres, and he has a great chance too. And then there's the horse I want to talk about most, and that's Breeze of Spring, now with the Jimmy Ting operation. Well, regulars watching this show will know that the stable change angle is one of my favourite angles in Hong Kong racing, a very profitable edge to follow. And Jimmy Ting hasn't been training very long, but he's certainly shown himself to be one of the best so far at getting horses to perform at their first run for the yard. Now we're going to take a look at a graphic here, and this is showing you the top trainers with the stable change horses. 25%, as you see there, Jimmy Ting is his strike rate. He leads the way on strike rate, but he also leads the way on his ability to exceed the market expectations. And for punters having a bet, that figure can also be regarded as a profitability rating. So Breeze of Spring goes to the Jimmy Ting yard as, well, let's face it, nothing special. One win from 19 starts so far, but he does go in pretty good form already. He's had 2 runs this season with his previous trainer, first up, second, and then we're going to take a look at his most recent effort when he was a close-up third. Now this is race 59. He's in the pink colours with white sleeves. The pace wasn't overly quick here, so the leaders gave a good kick in the run home, and he gets back here on the inside. Breeze of Spring threading his way through the field, rounding the home turn for Derek Lung. Really excellent ride from Derek, and he finds the line strongly with Super Dragon, another rival on Saturday, and they both just fail to get to Galactic, who holds on in a 3-way finish. But both of these horses, terrific runs. And Super Red Dragon was able to confirm that form, going out to win at his next start. And subsequently, of course, Breeze of Spring moved over to the Ting yard, where he has since barrier trialled to confirm that he's still in this great form, and that brings him to Saturday's race. Now we're going to take a look at the map first of all here, because the trouble for a number of runners here, including Breeze of Spring, is the map. There looks a soft tempo, it's unsure who will actually lead the race, and if he gets back again like he did there, perhaps he'll be arriving again a bit too late. Now that's a problem. But there is another reference for Breeze of Spring, and that is going back to March during last season, and this is the only race he has won so far. And you'll see him here in those colours once again, pink with the white sleeves, but this time we see him much more prominent in a slowly run race. He's up outside the leader, and this time he's right where he needs to be according to the tempo, out-toughs his rivals in the run down the stretch and gets up in the last stride. So the tip in race 3, Breeze of Spring, his winning factor, the stable change. We've seen just how good Jimmy Ting is at producing these horses first time out to produce their best. And in contrast to his recent racing pattern, we've also seen that Breeze of Spring might be adaptable here to a map that at first looks unfriendly. The other race I want to take a look at on Saturday is race 8, and our winning factor here, the Future Star. Well, if ever there was a 2-horse race, I think this is it. And David Hall trained Joyful Fortune and Mi Choi trained Sparkling Night stick out from this field by a big margin. So let's take a look at them at their best, and in both cases it's a Class 4 win down the straight course during the latter part of last season. And first of all, Sparkling Night. Now this is race 740, and you'll see him here in the purplish colours, and the further they go the easier he wins. He's up on the lead throughout, spread eagles this field, and runs very, very fast times overall and sectionally. Now that was in June, and then in July, race 792, we saw Joyful Fortune make his only appearance at the races, also down the straight, and likewise in the pink and green colours here you see him leading the race, and when Blake Shin asks him for more, he just picks up, runs away, and could not have been more impressive winning. Just not impressive to the eye, but like Sparkling Night, very impressive on the clock as well. In fact, I'd rate that winning debut there by Joyful Fortune right up there with the best debuts we've seen in Hong Kong over recent years. Horses like Mr. Stunning, Pakistan Star, and the current group class sprinter Voyage Warrior. All very impressive, but none better really than Joyful Fortune. So he looks a horse headed for the top. He ticks a lot of our regular boxes on the winning factor. He's a last start winner up in grade. He's an unbeaten horse, and just to put the icing on the cake, David Hall is one of our best trainers with last start winners. So is there an issue? He's going to be at very short odds, and you always want to just work out that there's no weakness. Well, he hasn't raced for 132 days, while Sparkling Night, who has had a first up run this season already, went a very good second, ran 21 days ago, so he will have race fitness on his side. So I thought we'd take a look at time between runs for different trainers. And one of the things we often talk about is the quick backup, but we can spread that out and go to longer breaks. And this is over the last 5 years, the top 10 trainers at various different kinds of breaks. First of all, horses racing less than 30 days after their previous run, then 31 to 60 days, then over 61 days, and finally more than 100 days since their last start. And if you're planning on taking the short odds Joyful Fortune, you'll be pleased to see that although David Hall doesn't appear in the first two lists, as the time between runs gets longer, he rises up the charts and is more effective, and he's one of Hong Kong's best when it comes to horses resuming after 100 plus day breaks. Even on the map, this looks a race in two. The preferred draws towards the outside down the straight course, and Sparkling Night, he has the little advantage of the very outside, but I don't think Joyful Fortune will be getting beaten by that. He's got a stack of speed himself. He'll be right there with Sparkling Fortune as they head down the outside fence. So the tip in race 8, Joyful Fortune, his winning factor, the Future Star. Well, off that win in Class 4 at his first race last season, I think Joyful Fortune's headed for Group 1 company. He looks a certainty here, with the only possible query whether that long break between runs should be held against him. As we've seen from the figures, in David Hall's case, that's not only not a disadvantage, it might very well be a plus. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Good luck on Saturday. We'll see you next time.